Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rosemary from St. Mary's College, Thrissur. Today we are going to talk about mitochondria and plastids. First of all, mitochondria. As we know, mitochondria are membrane-bound organelles. It present in the cytoplasm of the all eukaryotic cells. So, if there is a eukaryotic cell, then the mitochondria is a definite factor in a cell, and it can produce the energy molecule which is called ATP, the adenosine triphosphate, and which is the main energy molecule used by the cell for the various activities. Due to this character, the mitochondria is regarded as the powerhouse of the cell. And the term mitochondrium, it is derived from the Greek words mitos and chondrion. That means mitos means thread and chondrion means granule slug. So when we observed the mitochondria for the very first time, we find out that it's a granule-like thread-like structure. Then the scientists gave the name mitochondrion. And of course, there are several scientists behind the scenes of the discovery and the description of mitochondria. First of all, the Albert von Kolliker. He was the scientist who discovered the mitochondria in 1857. At that time, he didn't give any name, but later on, around in 1886, the scientist called Richard Altman gave the name bioblast. That means the life germs because it is the because of their ability to produce ATP. And finally, the scientist called Carl Benda who gave the name mitochondria to the mitochondria. And coming to the structure, mitochondria are surrounded by a double membrane system, that is inner membrane and an outer membrane, which is separated by an intermembrane space. So the inner membrane forms here in this picture, you can find it out that the inner membrane of the mitochondria is folded, and that portion is known as cristae, which is very important part for the electron transport chain. And the matrix is the portion which included in the inner space, and it represents the major working compartments of the mitochondria for functional activities. So here you can see the matrix and the crystal and the two membranes and the intermembrane space. Then coming to mitochondrial DNA. It's a specific feature for mitochondria, that is, it consists of their own set of DNA, that is mitochondrial DNA. It is somehow similar to bacterial DNA. The mitochondrial DNA holds the instructions for a number of proteins and other cellular support equipments across 37 genes. And this DNA consists less than 70,000 base pairs. So, it is very significant to tracing the genetic lines. Okay, this analysis have concluded that humans may have originated in Africa relatively recently, around 2 lakh years ago. So here we can find out that there is a common ancestor that is comes from Africa, and that particular ancient mother is known as mitochondrial Eve. And coming to the functions, it have various functions like the metabolic activity, generation of ATP molecule, cell multiplication, and responsible for the certain parts of blood and various hormones, then maintaining the adequate concentration of calcium ions, and the cellular activities like differentiation, cell signaling, cell senescence, controlling of the cell cycle, etc., which is very important in the part of cell growth. And coming to the plastids, it is the mitochondria of plants, that we can say that, because it is also a double membrane organelles which are found in the cells of the plant and algae. And the plastids are responsible for the manufacturing and storing of the food. Okay, here you can see the picture of plastids, which contains a double membrane, that of outer membrane and the inner membrane. Between that, we can see the space, and there is a thylakoid and a granum and stroma. And the thylakoid, in thylakoid we can find it out the which part, the lumen. So it's very important uh, for the storage of food in plants. So there are different type of plasts like chromoplast and leucoplast. And the chromoplast, the chloroplast is a type of chromoplast, and the leucoplast is further divided into amyloplast, elioplast, and proteinoplast. And it has their own different functions based on the type of things that have storage or synthesize. Here etioplast, it is a crystalline proramellar bodies, and it is a precursor for chlorophyll. And the chromoplast, it's for the pigment synthesis, like the name indicate chromos. And the chloroplast for the photosynthesis, and leuco for the fatty acids, amylo for the starch and sugars, and the elioplast for the lipids and oils. Finally the proteinoplast for the sites of the enzyme activity. So it got the name based on their functions. So these are the basic structure and functions of mitochondria and plasts. For the further reference, you can refer the Cooper test, the cell, a molecular approach. Thank you.